Hi, Vineyard. My name is Connie Neckers, and I oversee the 55 plus in caring ministries here at the church. And during Beth's weekend message a few weeks ago, she made a reference to wounded pride. And I felt a little stab of conviction in my heart, and I started thinking, ooh, I better investigate that to see how this is playing out in my life. And it wasn't long before I had an opportunity. I recognized it in an argument that I had with my husband, and I had some expectations that were not being filled, and I was angry, and I was not considering his perspective at all, just my own. So then I was reminded of a time that I had expectations for God that were not fulfilled, and I was angry about that too. So this happened maybe 15 or 16 years ago, and I had been in a bad horseback riding accident. The horse spooked, and he reared up, and we both fell over backwards. He landed on top of me, and he crushed my leg. It was a very long and painful journey, but I kept tenaciously believing God's going to heal me. He's going to heal me, and I'm going to be restored. But I wasn't. And I got to a place where I didn't even want to pray about it anymore since I stopped seeing improvements. And, my leg was painful. I had chronic swelling that was disfiguring. It was costly. I had to go to physical therapy two or three times a week. And I had to spend lots of hours every week just managing it. And it took me a couple years before I was able to walk a mile. And it was literally a very life-altering event. And so about a year after the accident, I heard about this, it was a 4-evening healing conference that was going to be taking place at a church not far from our home. And so I decided to go, and I went for the whole thing. And every night I went forward and I asked for prayer, and nothing would happen. And finally, on the last night, I went forward, and this woman asked me, she said, what are you mad about? And I just thought, well, I'm not mad. What are you even getting at? And so I started to deny it. And then I just blurted out, well, for crying out loud, I work for God. I see people all the time who are getting healed. I'm a special kid. I deserve to be healed. How come this isn't happening? And so then I realized that it wasn't just the grief at the last loss of my old life that I felt, but I really was angry with God. He wasn't behaving in the manner that I expected him to, nor in the time frame. And so I didn't recognize it at the time, but now I know it to be what it was. I had wounded pride. And the reality was that it didn't matter that I worked for God. There was no way that I could earn his healing touch. Just like salvation, it was a gift of his grace. And I was jealous, others were receiving something that I had not, and I wasn't happy about that either. And then because I felt so loved by him, I believe that my relationship with him, it was out of the ordinary, that I was one of his favorites. I was special. And in reality, he loves all of his kids the same. We can say that he either has no favorites, or we can say that we're all his favorites. Each and every one of us are special to him. And then I felt entitled. I felt like I deserved this special treatment. So if you've ever been angry with God, you're not alone. The Psalms are peppered with fiery words from David, like, how long, God, will you forget me forever? That's Psalm 13:1. And in Lamentations 5:20, the prophet Jeremiah complains, if you've forgotten us completely, why have you forsaken us these many days? And Habakkuk in 1, 2, and 3, he says, how long, God, must I call out for help? But you will not listen, or cry out to you violence, but you do not save. Well, all of these folks, just like me, had this expectation that God would take care of things in their way and on their time schedule. We were all wrong. And we also get angry with God when we don't know all the facts. And it's so easy to think that we know everything, but we can only see a very small part of the picture. So looking back on my injury, my biggest takeaways have been God could take me being angry with him, like the spitting bullets pounding on the chest type of anger. He just wanted me to be honest with my feelings so that I didn't end up with a bitter root of resentment to deal with. And he used this experience to restore my marriage. And prior to this accident, Jim and I had been separated for several years. And we were back together under one roof, but I think I was still guarded and I hadn't really let him back into my heart. And so he was so kind and so good to me and took such great care of me, excuse me, while all of this was going on. My trust in him and my love for him was restored. And one of the other things that was really touching is we had college-age kids at the time, and I had received notes from both of them. They had watched me, and they recognized how hard that I had worked to recover and how I had not allowed this experience to bring me down. And so, so healing hadn't happened to me exactly how I expected, but I really wouldn't trade it for the world. I really gained so much more. So I'll finish with Jeremiah 17:14. O Lord, if you heal me, I will be truly healed. And if you save me, I will be truly saved. My praises are for you alone. Bye now. Have a great day.